Stop immediately. That was the subject line of an email that I received from the director of a company I worked for. I remember it was a Friday morning, and I was so startled to see that in my inbox. I opened up the message and read further. It has come to my attention that you have been harassing my employees. Stop immediately. I couldn't believe what I was reading. What had I done? I had been collecting information on the processes of his department, but that was at the direction of my boss. I would have to sit with that question for the whole weekend until I could address this with my manager on Monday. And when I did, I found out that he was not supportive of my fighting it. He said to me, he's not someone that you want to get on the wrong side of. And because I was still fairly new at the organization, I didn't want to rock the boat. I reluctantly let it go. But inside I was angry. Here I was at a job where I didn't feel that all my skills were being fully utilized, and now I had to put up with being bullied. And I couldn't believe that I found myself in this situation, because I remember when I took the job, I had a similar feeling to the feeling I had when I was accepting that first job I got out of college. It was a feeling that it wasn't right for me. I was aware of this feeling and knowing that I was getting ready to step into something that perhaps I shouldn't, but I didn't have a job. And I could hear my mom's voice again in the back of my head saying a bird in the hand's worth two in the bush. And I didn't have the courage to turn it down. So I had accepted it, and now here I was. And so that stop immediately email started a chain of events that has brought me to where I am today. I realized I needed to do something and do something different. I knew that looking for another job wouldn't do it, because I had job hopped every couple of years looking for a solution, and I hadn't found it. And so I started to read more self-help books. I started taking more project management training courses. And while those helped, they didn't help the way they used to help. And so one day I got an email from IPEC, my coach training school. And I had explored going to coach training right before I started this job, but it wasn't the right time. My mom had died 3 months earlier, and I was still dealing with her estate affairs, and I was starting this new job too. And so it wasn't the right time to start an intensive coach training program. So I put it on the back burner and I forgot about it. But the stop immediately email caused me, and the email from IPEC caused me to remember. And so I called them and I enrolled that day. 2 weeks later, I was sitting in coach training. And I remember at the end of that 3-day weekend, we did an exercise where we sat down and we visioned and we wrote out where we saw ourselves 1 year from that day. And I remember I wrote, 1 year from today, I will be fully self-employed as a life coach. I will have published my first book, and my house in France has a stone face and red shutters and door. And I remember as I wrote that and read that back, how powerful that was. I really got the sense that that would happen for me. I didn't know how. I was just starting my coach journey, coach training. And so to be a full-time coach in a year, that seemed pretty quick. And writing a book, I'd always dreamed of writing a book, but I had no idea what the book would be about. And as for living in France, I'd never been to the country. I didn't even know if I really liked France, but there it was on my 1 year vision. And 9 months of coach training helped me to work through what I was going through at work. It helped me to deal with the frustration and irritation and helped me to show up better, even though I was not happy. But it didn't do anything for my sense of the lack of satisfaction I had with the work I was doing and the lack of challenge I felt. And so I was feeling like I needed a break. And so I took a 2-week vacation and I went to France. And I explored France by train. I went to 4 different cities. And while I was in Lyon, France, I got a flash of insight that is another big piece of the puzzle to where I am today, and offering the Pen to Power one-on-one mentoring program. And it's really incredible that it happened like a bolt of lightning. And I will share that story with you tomorrow. But I just want to wrap up by saying these events in our lives can really set us up for great things down the road. My first job out of college, how would I have known that this would set me up for the work I'm doing today? And that stop immediately email really was the thing that pushed me over the edge, that was caused me to realize something had to give. And I'm so grateful for that as well. So if you haven't already downloaded the affirmations for positivity, abundance, and flow at work, you can still do so by going to www.tinyurl.com/thecouragecatalyst and tell me where you want me to send your audio affirmations, and you will have them pretty quickly. So that's all I have for you today. Stay tuned for tomorrow, where I share how Lyon, France, and that flash of insight has set me up for where I am today. Bye for now.